Drink beer. Think beer. You're listening to Brew Bloods.
Hey, welcome to Brew Bloods episode 103. We are here live at Intrinsic Smokehouse and Brewing in Garland, Texas today.
It's my first time here. Have you been here before?
It is my first time as well, but it is not our guest's first time.
No.
Seems like Jennifer here is here all the time.
She seems like a celebrity walking in here, knows about everybody that's here.
And judging by the tweets, the animated gifs of just Intrinsic cans going back and forth.
Oh yeah, that too.
But they're delicious. They're delicious. This is actually my second time here. I've had them a few times out and about in Dallas. But now that I've come here, there's going to be way more happenings here for sure for the Bearded Lady.
So let's talk about the Bearded Lady. You're, contrary to popular belief, you don't actually have a beard. You're not a circus performer.
Yeah.
Have you thought about growing a beard or maybe like a fake strap-on beard, like a Lincoln beard or something?
She's clever like us, how you do a play on another term, you know, okay?
Very punny.
Yeah.
I've thought about like making something out of hops. And then I just got a tattoo instead because I thought it was a little bit
it's a pretty wicked tattoo.
I know. She's pretty fresh.
Did you design that yourself?
Actually, something really cool is that one of my patients / artist made the Deep Ellum Arts Festival poster. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
He's a really good artist, and he actually put it all together for me, and she's a logo now, but he designed the whole thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Then I got my artist in Wichita Falls to put it together.
So let's talk about the Bearded Lady. You've been blogging. How long have you been blogging for? A long time.
It's been like almost 2.5 years now, so at least 2 years.
And you go all around Texas and, well, basically it seems like anytime you take a trip, you try to fit in it's much like us, try to fit in a beer event or something.
At least one.
Yeah.
If not like 6. Is
Right.
kind of my minimum. But I do try to go, wherever I go, I like to go to breweries. And I definitely like to visit all the breweries here in Texas. Sorry, I'm burping because of the beer.
Oh. That's okay.
fine,
We do it
right?
plenty. So when did you first get into craft beer? Was it something around North Texas that got you into it, or did you go on a trip and fell in love with it?
Actually, that's a great question. I drank a lot of crappy beer. Can I cuss?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I drank a lot of shit beer in college. And I came home one day, and speaking of my dad, who's over there, I talked to my dad, and I had a Shiner Bock. It was a Shiner Black, I'm sorry. I had a Shiner Black, and I said, this tastes kind of good. So he wigged out. He told me that he used to sit me down with his friend Richard. And we all sat at a table. I was the one on this side, and they were on the other side, passing me glasses, basically.
Seems very confrontational.
I know.
Take this.
They were like, try this one, try this one, try this one, try this one. And basically they had a bunch of tasters out for me, and I was trying each one to kind of see what taste I liked. I ended up pegging on a Belgian-style Victory Golden Monkey, so I love triples and quads and all that kind of stuff.
My nemesis, for sure.
Well, not quite to the effect of loggers.
No, true. Yeah.
So were your parents, was your dad and his friend, were they homebrewers at all? Or?
Actually, it's a funny story. We actually lived over in Saudi Arabia for a little while.
Oh, wow.
And yes, he brewed wine and beer. And we went to homebrew headquarters down here in Richardson, and they had to label it differently for us to go to Saudi, and they label it as like wheat and grain and all that random stuff. So,
were there any in Saudi Arabia? Were there any restrictions about making wine at home, or I mean?
Absolutely, it's illegal.
Okay,
I was going to say, I figured it's probably not even legit. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if it was like if you're a non-Muslim, if it's okay for you to drink, but if you are a Muslim, obviously hands off.
Oh no!
Stay away.
So we were in Riyadh, and that was one of the most conservative places, and so no alcohol, no pork. That was the big.
So basically,
ones.
the good stuff of life.
Yeah, no alcohol and no pork. We ended up going different places and swinging in. Like we went to this other place, and they labeled the pork differently, just for us to drive over and smuggle. We would smuggle a lot of things.
So
not like only the illegal stuff here.
Sure.
But illegal there.
Right.
What took your dad to Saudi Arabia?
He was subcontracting for the government.
Okay, Black Ops.
Yeah, no.
Common thing that takes Americans to Saudi. Yeah.
He taught Saudis electronics.
Oh, okay.
How old were you when you were in Saudi Arabia?
I was ages 5 to almost 12.
How much do you remember?
That's some
A lot.
Yeah.
some formative years to be there,
Yeah.
too.
It was very defining of my, I guess, personality. And worldliness that I got to learn a lot about different people and different places.
How do you think it affected you?
I think it affected me great for the most part. I'm sure every once in a while I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't like terrorists, but I don't think anybody does. So.
Yeah. Were you speaking English the entire time, or what was the primary language? Was it
I
Farsi
spoke
or?
English. They speak Arabic there, and I actually went to an American international school.
Okay, so it was easy.
Yeah, we spoke English, and everybody spoke broken English pretty much.
Okay.
They know that they can sell things to us, so we would buy gold, and they know to speak English to us.
So were you 12 when your dad pushed the beers on you? Confronted you, like, sample all
these? That's a little later in life, right. I'm thinking.
Well, I guess I was able to try some of their stuff. I never was like, oh, this is delicious. I'm like, this tastes disgusting. It was, I was underage possibly whenever I tried Shiner Bock, but...
Who wasn't when they had their first beer, though?
Right?
Yeah.
If you're from Texas and it's not in a bottle, like a baby bottle, you're not doing it right.
Pop that little nipple on there.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
So you came back, when did you come back to Dallas or to Texas?
We came back when I was 12. So right after 9/11.
Oh, okay. So were you born here and you went to Saudi Arabia and then came back?
I was born in San Angelo, Texas.
Hey. Not far from us in Abilene.
Yeah. We lived in Abilene for all our formative years, we know the area quite well.
Yeah, the big country in the Concho Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite familiar.
Yeah, competing factions, big country in Concho Valley, exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
San Angelo State, was that the big college? Yeah.
Right.
Angelo State University.
Angelo State, yeah. Quite the rivalry going on. We used to call the stadium, because it looked like a taco, the Taco Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I remember at the time, at least when we were in high school, it was bright yellow.
Wow.
And it was shaped like a taco.
I purged that from my memory somehow.
I know. You're like, I'm forgetting all this. For some
You purged a lot of things from your memories, though.
That's
a lot
true.
of substances.
Yeah,
They're
They're
substances.
useless, right?
Right.
It's like, let's delete that.
When you have a beer podcast and you drink a lot, it deletes that kind of stuff.
Well, it kills all the slow brain cells.
Yeah,
right.
The ones
that need to go away anyway. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you've lived here ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So what's kept you in Dallas as opposed to moving somewhere else?
Really, I went to school in Denton, and then I went to school downtown at Baylor for my dental hygiene degree, and I just haven't moved out yet. Then whenever I go visit other states, I realize how much I love Texas. So I think Texas is probably just one of my favorite states.
Okay.
And Dallas is getting a lot better now with all the breweries opening and really becoming, I don't want to say Austin-y, more hipster's a bad word too, but it's getting a little bit more cultural.
Yeah, it is for
More
sure.
cosmopolitan, but less.
Well, plus
less Los Angeles.
Dallas actually has a lot of neighborhoods that are interesting now. It's not don't go over there because you'll be killed. It's actually fun to go around different places.
Who would have thought Garland would open a brewery and a smokehouse in downtown?
Sure, Garland and the Cedars turning around, and West Dallas, all that. So it's definitely getting a lot better.
I went to school around here, so it's like, I don't really want to go back to Garland. Okay, I guess I will. But now I'm glad that I do. So
it's nice to see Garland, because Garland's like a big industrial town in a lot of ways.
Sure.
And it's nice to see some things start to pop up here and there. And same with us in East Dallas. Northwest Highway on Garland Avenue.
We're basically we're almost in Garland.
I know.
We're almost
when
in
you guys
Garland.
said East Dallas, I was like, they're right down the street.
I mean, that whole Garland Road needs just a big brag taken to it. But it's nice to see things are starting to turn around, and things are starting to get cleaned up, and places like Good Friend and a former Good to Go can open up and thrive. These little niche, small restaurants. It's good to see.
No, it's for sure awesome to see the Ma and Pa's opening, because I thought that was only available in Denton.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which that is the biggest spot of Ma and Pa places right now, which is growing even bigger, which is amazing because I love Denton. That's just my good spot. And now I'm seeing all of these other things open up, which is fantastic to see these tiny little shops.
No, it's nice. It's
Downtown
definitely nice.
Plano is seen quite the resurgence.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
It's packed now.
Yesterday,
It's amazing.
Sushi. It was
Even
delicious.
just 2 years ago. Well, I wouldn't say it's a ghost town, but it was there was still the Fillmore, and there was
Vickery and a couple of the anchors over there. But
others, and there were a lot of empty windows. And there was that pizzeria that burned down that may or may not have been mob connected. From the backstory I know.
What? There's a mob in Plano. Oh my god.
Well, the Plano. It's a very I don't know, Dallasite chapter of the Dixie Mafia, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my god.
No, but apparently it's a shady story, but that's for another time.
We can just get our Texas politics in order. Everything will be starting to go well.
Yeah, things are really turning around in Dallas, and we've said that, especially for beer, Dallas has really become a sweet spot because we're in the middle of the country. We used to be flyover country, but now everybody, like, with DFW being like a primary hub for travel, obviously we've got Toyota and all these other factories moving here, and then all the beer is starting to come here finally. Yeah. Like Ninkasi, Bell's recently.
Even beyond that, just to cite another industry, you get Five Guys Burgers and Fries, and you get In-N-Out. You know, you're just right in the middle of the country. You get all that stuff from the West and East Coast, all the really good stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I really liked it. Oh yeah,
Five Guys, but In-N-Out.
Sure.
We get a lot of local cuisine. Like we've seen quite the barbecue resurgence here. I mean, here at Intrinsic, just a great example of that.
Oh yeah.
Barbecue has undergone a real renaissance here in Texas.
I agree.
I mean, even in Dallas, with Pecan Lodge kind of being like at the forefront of that, and then there's been Cadillac and Himes and Intrinsic here, and obviously Franklin's down in Austin.
Sure.
I mean, really just took Sonny Bryan's and the others in Dickies, cast them aside and said, here's how you actually do it.
Right. No.
It's nice to see. I think where our barbecue competes on definitely a national level with St. Louis and Memphis at this point.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you meet people from over there, they're like, oh, so do you like beef or pork? And I'm like, what does that mean? I like both, but I usually choose brisket. And they're like, oh, we're like pork people over in Tennessee. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. I thought it was just everything.
Pork is their big thing up there.
I didn't even know brisket's big down here.
And they like their is it St. Louis where they like the mustard and vinegar, and Nashville is more of like a wet barbecue. And it's like here you can actually let the meat stand on its own and shine on its own.
Yeah, no, you can, which is delicious. I was nibbling on theirs earlier without even dipping in the barbecue sauce. So.
Yeah,
this will all be cut out in the separate barbecue cast where we talk about barbecue restaurants.
We're going to submit this to Daniel Vaughn, the barbecue snob. Right. So when did you start the blog? It was a couple years ago?
It was a couple of years ago. I was actually talking to one of my patients. Of course,
as you're in their mouth, fiddling around.
My hands are in their mouth, and I was talking about one of my favorite beers and kind of describing it to him, and he was like, Jennifer, you really need to write about this. And I was like, not a writer. You're funny. I tried. Yeah. I have a personal editor at home, so, he does everything for me. And so I started with that, and then the Instagram, and then all of it just kind of started toppling on top of each other, and it kind of blew up, I guess. And so I've been just riding that craft beer wave. It's awesome because I kind of started when craft beer was just starting here, too. I started drinking craft beer when it just started in Texas, too. Like Lakewood, no one knew who that was. I went in there. And I kept on drinking Lakewood Temptress, thinking it was like 6%, and it was not. And greatness, my parents always take care of me. I was chowing down on Fuzzy's tacos, just drunk with them. And I was like, it's so good, it's so good.
So did you kind of come along with the second wave? We always consider Franconia Raw kind of that first wave of craft breweries. And
yes, probably the second wave.
More like Petacolis and Deep Ellum and maybe that era?
Yeah, so I drank in Denton, like at Oak Street Draft House before they even had the Texas craft beer. So I did do all the craft beer before, but then I started writing that second wave, I think, when Lakewood opened and all of those. And now I love Petacolis Community, all of those, for sure.
It makes sense, too, because now we have more options to actually talk about. It helps quite a bit.
So why do a blog as opposed to doing, like us, do a podcast? I don't even know the first thing to do with podcasts. Maybe this will kind of get me into it. Yeah. I try to dabble a little bit in video, too, which is hard because you have to edit. Yeah,
and
it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, you have to sit there and, talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And you're just like, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, this tastes delicious. And
we've never done that. We've done some short videos, but at least we have each other to talk to.
Yeah, I just have, my phone, and I'm, looking at myself while I'm talking, and I'm just like, okay, this is really awkward. But so I'm trying to get more into videos, but I know Instagram is, the hugest thing. I do live on there. I know it's not a podcast. I probably could save it and stuff like that, but some people enjoy the live on Instagram as well.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever... The only live event we've done was at Goose Island when we tried it, and we had a lot of technical problems.
Yeah.
I just sat down. People were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm eating. This is Thirsty Thursday. You wanted me to do it. Here you go. So do
you feel more of you seem to be more like an evangelist for the local craft beer scene than we are more reviewers, I guess. We're interviewers and reviewers. You seem to be more evangelists. Do you?
And we mix in the local and the national. You seem very. Again, you do go around, and if you go somewhere, you pick it up. But you seem very, very into the Dallas scene, and very, very much promoting that.
So, yes, and I think that's my love for Texas. Now, if I do go somewhere else, and people, I mean, I get Treehouse and I get Trillium. I'm going to totally post about that.
Sure.
I do like reviewing. It's kind of short and sweet on Instagram.
Right.
Can't put too much on there, but my videos are kind of a review. But I think because it's so easy to get here, and it's so delicious, and I think that they're coming out with amazing things, like Intrinsic came out with the Texas Shake and the Can't Stop This, and those are just amazing new beers that Texas is bringing into light, that we can do it too.
Right.
I love that part about it, and I'm a little proud of Texas. So, but I do try everything else, and we're going to Europe at the end of this month, so I'm going to be definitely hitting up all the European breweries and stuff like that, and
where are you going?
A little bit. London and Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try to find the independents if you can.
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult. They're big conglomerates now in the Euro area, especially the pubs and things like that, and they kind of have homogenized a lot of the beers and that kind of stuff.
You can't find
kind
them.
of like our... I don't want to say
it's kind of like, they have an AB InBev equivalent over there.
Got
yes.
it, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They even have tighter reins over the pubs there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I actually have a couple friends that live over there, and actually, surprisingly, on Instagram, a lot of different people are from all over the world following you. So I was just like, hey, where do I go? Where do I get the craft beer? And he sent me a whole list. So
that is strange. Like, we've noticed a lot more, and honestly, we don't do that much on Instagram. We've noticed a way more like organic activity on Instagram than any other environment. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, we don't put a lot of work into it, but like we put up one post and it'll get 500 likes. I just put a couple of hashtags. I'm like, I don't understand this.
So one thing about Instagram, it's personal. So you have faces.
Right.
Sure.
With a beer. Like this is very personal. You're videotaping. They can all see us. It's just not like talking. So this is going to get a lot more, not views, but a lot more action than something else. Now, like, for example, I can post a picture of a beer. It'll get like 300 likes.
Right.
If I post a picture of me, it's like 1,000. Like, but it has to be with a beer, of course. You know? But it's just, it's all about personal life and like them to see your face and all. Daddy.
And so he just would have been featuring the food. That's all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My dad just wanted to get in real quick.
Yeah, Twitter's more of a fire hose, it seems. And like, I even find myself a lot of days, I'm like 600 tweets behind. I'm just like, boom, all the way to the top. I can't read all this.
Right.
But, Instagram, it's...
I don't read them. I do read the ones that are like with me.
Yeah.
For sure. And anybody that's responding to me, and I try to stay engaged with my followers.
Yeah.
But I know that sounds crazy, but it's just like there's so many things that you can be looking at, and it is. Like, I'm going to tweet, hey, I'm here. I'm going to Insta story, hey, I'm here. I'm not going to post on Instagram constantly what I'm doing every single second of the day.
Right.
So it is, for sure.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So I know we mentioned the big behemoth of AB InBev, and so we had a question around that, too. Does something being bought up like a Goose Island or Lagunitas or somebody else being bought by AB InBev, does that make you want to shy away from talking about them
like
on the blog at all? Does that have an
Revolver.
effect?
I have some mixed views on that because I hear it from this side and like the craft side and what they say.
Right.
And I'm kind of biased, but I still am going to drink it. I mean, I'm not going to not partake in good beer because it's still really well-made beer. They haven't messed with any of the ingredients or how to make it. So I'm still going to drink it, but I do kind of shy away from it because the people on the interwebs really don't love it.
And we've talked about that. In the past, we've been defenders of, if it keeps the same, who really cares?
Yeah.
But it started to change because it seems like, especially InBev, is buying up a lot of stuff. And they even bought up Rate Beer, which is a independent rating site.
I saw that.
So if they do that, what
like
kind of effect are they going to have there? And that's really bad, I think.
Someone brought something up to me, and AB InBev is going to have, like, when you're looking at Tom Thumb, they're going to have all theirs in your line of sight.
Right.
Because they're paying for that spot, and they're going to go quicker. Now, if you're going to try to look for something else, you have to reach up or look down. And so it's like simple things like that that's kind of messed up.
It's like
we've talked to the distributor or local brewers about that and their distribution and saying how big their network is, and they put it all in your line of sight, like you said.
It's like the Malcolm Gladwell books. Was it not Freakonomics, but it was another one where he talked about marketing, where when they were trying to promote kids' cereals, they would obviously put the sugary ones at your Golden Grams, your Captain Crunch at the kids' height, at 8-year-old's height.
They're like, I want it.
Yeah, and then all the Fiber and Brand cereals.
That liked me all the time.
Yeah,
no, I understand.
The Fiber and Brand cereals were at the very top, so that
the adults can
so
try to reach it. Maybe
go get your grape nuts and
right. Ooh, kashi, yummy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, yay kashi.
I love kashi, but
yeah, no, it's fine.
No, it's kind of. I mean, I am going to shy away a little bit now. Not all the way, because they still make good beer. Goose Island does make really good beer. I have Bourbon County at home.
Absolutely, me too.
A lot of it, because it's delicious.
Yeah, and you get the sense that the people that are making the beer really care about the beer still. They still care about it. So, in some ways, I do feel bad for them, because they didn't make the decision to sell the brewery.
Yeah, and we got that impression talking to them, when they came through and we hosted that event, and just talking about how...
They still love the beer.
Yeah, exactly. And they're talking about, well, we wouldn't be able to do this kind of tour if we didn't have the InBev money, and that kind of, which I understand.
And it's interesting. It's like, now you have to think about yourself. Like, if I opened a brewery, are you going to go in it for making that $30 million at the end? Who wouldn't take? I mean, come on.
Exactly. Yeah, I would.
But then some people are going to be like, no, it's my baby.
Sure.
So I have both hearts there.
If InBev wants to buy the podcast, we've already talked about, we're good with it.
$30 million, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Become the AB InBev cast.
Right.
I don't blame you.
I mean, there's nothing... I understand it. I mean, nobody's in the business to lose money, so
I know,
if you have
it's
a chance...
a scary thing.
Especially when you want to expand, and you face the precipice of taking out loans or getting outside investors to possibly invest, and you have to give over shares, so many shares... to them, I mean, that's a scary prospect.
Well, I think a great example is going back to one of our Michael Petticolis interviews where he, I mean, he's obviously a big defender of local craft beer. Sure. That's his thing. Yeah. And
he's actually a lawyer. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It makes perfect sense.
It.
Right. Yeah, literally defends it. Yeah.
Defends it.
Right. But, he told us in the interview, too, he goes, I mean, if they back the truck up with $20 million, I'd definitely consider it and probably do it.
Yeah.
I understand. It's hard at some level to just say, no, I'm just going to be... I feel like maybe Dogfish would never do that, but I feel like a lot of people...
But he's also in a better position to resist that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's a mega craft. Yeah, he's a mega craft brewer.
He can afford to resist.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's the same thing with Stone. Stone can afford to resist. They can afford...
St. Arnold, and St. Arnold resisted too. I mean, I know they're not national, but they are definitely huge here in Texas.
Sierra Nevada could do that. Yeah, there's definitely several that could.
Which is what I like about Stone, is that they're taking that ability to resist and then turning around and reinvesting in the smaller guys to help keep them afloat without having to sell out. If they want to expand without selling out, in theory, if they're a certain point in production, they can get investment from Stone's investment group. I forgot the name of it, but I mean, that's great.
They're actually going international too. They just
went to
built in Germany.
Yeah, they opened up in Germany.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I was looking at the jobs for over there, but you have to speak German.
Yeah,
so
advantage.
No speaking to Deutsch. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, big disadvantage.
I know.
Yeah. So do you... how hard is it to keep the blog going? Because I know we try to do this weekly, and that's hard enough. But text is even harder because you have to edit and, write actual words rather than just vomiting out like we do. I'm really hard. I'm really bad about updating the blog. It's actually been a little while, which stinks, and I need to... Usually it comes up with events or something like that. Right. And it's weird because I've pulled most of my focus onto Instagram, which is interesting because it's kind of like where everybody is. It's really hard to have a blog, and it is hard to write and edit and all of that kind of stuff. Now, like during North Texas Beer Week, when it comes to town, I'm going to be writing every single night, but I'm like leaving it blank for so long, or I'm going to talk about Europe whenever I go, but it's very in between. But I mean, Instagram is just like this monster that took over, and I love it, and so I feed a lot of those followers for sure. Do you find you getting more followers as a result of that? Because even though Instagram is still like somewhat like Twitter, it's more of disposable content than that hard content like writing a blog and having Google pick you up. I mean, I guess you're finding more organic followers just through the activity of however Instagram, their algorithm to show you the latest whatever. So if I were to put on Instagram and you have a new blog post, I'm going to get a lot more action. Or even on Facebook, I'm trying to like make all the social media sites so then they would be able to go check out that. So yes, Instagram is growing exponentially. Right. Just because I post about beer and I talk about a little bit about it, which is great. And luckily, you can just save all of that. But yeah, it does fizzle out. I mean, the likes go away after a little while. But
I definitely see a bigger turnaround and like action.
Okay. See, the biggest problem I have with
interaction.
Yeah, the biggest problem I have with that is if you want to post a link to something, the links aren't clickable on Instagram.
You have to put it up on top.
Really?
So in your bio, you can change it up.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Little Graham talk
Social
here.
media expert.
So if you wanted to change it, like, so my link to my YouTube channel is up top in my thing. You can only put one link.
Okay.
You can put other ones on there, and they can change it around, but I put my link to my YouTube to easy click. Now, if you want to change it, you can be like, hey, link in bio.
Yeah, okay.
You can delete it, put it in, be good to go.
I always try to put in, like, easily memorable URLs, like brewbloods.net/episode number or something like that.
Sure.
But I don't know.
Totally
I'll show you. All right, show me all the tricks. Yeah, definitely.
I got you.
So what's been your biggest achievement so far in doing blogging and Instagramming and all that?
Oh, gosh, that's my tattoo. I know I paid for that, but it's my tattoo. I think there's some achievements that are in play right now that are going to be pretty cool. Probably collaboration.
Here at Intrinsic?
I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. It's in the works. So I really want to get like a beer out there that's Beerded Lady take on beer. We're also, I know this is like really random. I'm just thinking of different things. I wanted to put hops into a beauty line. I know that sounds really strange, but for women,
not really.
Hops have like actually a really, really good antioxidant effect on your body. If you're going to put it in lotion or make a tea out of it. Barley also, I'm not pregnant at all, but I mean, barley also helps with milk production for females. Right. So there's a lot of things that are in beer and hops that really are good for, so that's another thing that I was thinking about, and I know somebody that can kind of help me out with that. But my I guess the coolest thing is someone being like, the Beerded Lady. And I'm like, hi.
It's weird. It's weird running into fans.
No, it's like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm like just geeking out as much as they are.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You're cooler than me.
Right.
It is a weird moment, though. Like, I would admit the first time that I think we were at Community one day with the Dallas Brew Bus, and I wasn't even wearing one of our shirts, and somebody recognized it. And then last week he was at Bishop Cider, and two people,
a couple fans,
recognized it. Was like, this is so weird.
It's so random and weird.
I know, it's like, but you're like. You like turn into the awkward version of yourself, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, oh yeah.
Don't judge me with this interaction. Still go listen to the podcast.
I'm still like the podcast person, but just like I'm really awkward. Sorry.
Exactly.
Real life, I'm really awkward.
I'm not in my format here, in my comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah, we've been doing podcasting since 2006. Ish on
not all beer.
Another show, and not just this show, but
I was like, all beer.
Another show and this one, and it's like, we'd never gotten any recognition. Not that we're in it for the recognition, but
you are a little bit. Come on,
but it's something that, like, all right, people are actually listening to this thing, you know.
And it's nice to know that.
Yeah,
and that's why
it's nice to get.
That's the good part of it. Yeah,
that's why you nerd out when they like know you, because you're just like, no, you're way cooler because you're actually looking at my stuff.
You actually give a crap about what I said. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone would.
So yeah.
Or when people reach out randomly, I mean, it's nice to hear. I mean, I know this is all real inside baseball for everybody who doesn't podcast or blog, but it's nice. It's nice to get a little feedback, especially when you're in.
I think people can understand it though, even if they don't do it.
I would say especially when you're on the critical side of one industry, like if you're a food reviewer, like if you're Daniel Vaughn from barbecue or anybody, or the beer advocate guys or something like that, you'd be on the other side.
Right.
Generally, people are recognized for their craft of making the food, making the beer. And actually, on the other side, they get recognized because we're
crafting reviews and information.
You know what I'm saying.
Entertainment.
It's just different.
We're advocating all of the stuff that they're doing.
Exactly,
so it's neat.
So what keeps you going? Because I'm sure some days, is it a slog to keep going? I mean, I know it's a slog for us sometimes.
It's, I guess.
I know it's a hard question.
It is. I know. It's like sometimes, like, I know this sounds crazy, but some days I'm like, I shouldn't drink beer today. It's probably a good idea not to drink it
to
because
detox.
I've been. Yeah, I know. It's just like, oh, and sometimes you get tired of the alcohol. I never get tired of the taste of beer.
Sure.
I always crave it, but I definitely get tired of the effects of it. That's the only thing. One thing about being a girl and like the Instagram, I have to put makeup on.
Yeah.
And I have to do my hair and all of those kind of stuff. Cute outfit, all of those things that I had to think about today coming here. That's another
Yeah, our outfits are not cute for sure.
You look fantastic. I love your shirt, and I love your shirt.
Oh, there we go. You know,
they are you
doing our whole
Texas.
product line.
So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, we are good. Like,
right, cover everything.
exactly.
And kind of on that front, as a woman in kind of a more male-dominated industry, I would say in general, have you had any pushback or issues around that at all, or has it been pretty smooth sailing for you?
So in the beginning, for sure, because I think a lot of people take in that my Instagram is that I don't drink the beer and like actually taste anything from it. And I talk about it, but I do. I'm like, oh, this one has hints of honey, like the hibiscus wit. It's delicious. I love wit beer, but they put a 7% alcohol. I mean, I can tell you what I taste. And
Sure.
honestly, females have a better palate than y'all. So we actually can taste a lot more
Sure.
than y'all can. And
Well, it's an evolutionary function.
it is,
Yeah.
it is. And so I'm sure we had to just like try things before. I don't even know.
Yeah.
This is like, but I definitely, they're like, oh yeah, it's so great that you actually drink the beer. And I'm like,
why,
I don't,
why wouldn't you?
yeah, like I don't know what to say about that. I mean, there's like great people like Georgina from Petacolis. I mean, she is a hoss. She went in there and she's a police officer, and she decided to beef out and be like, you know what, I'm gonna throw kegs around. I'm gonna do all this. So it is a really exciting time for women in the craft beer world.
Yeah, it seems to be getting a lot better.
It is.
I'm just thinking of the early days. It was really bro dominated, and it seems like it's evolving.
They were sommeliers instead of cicerones.
Right,
And
yeah.
we are more of the wine drinkers. I can't drink. I don't like wine. I like beer. And so it's a very interesting. I love talking about this. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I just watched Wonder Woman not too long ago, so I'm like, yes, beer, Wonder Woman beer.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's amazing to watch everything grow for the females in craft beer, because we can come up with great ideas with brewing. We can come up with, or not come up with, but taste a little bit better. And we can do a lot of things that I think were hidden for a long time. And so now, now that we're coming to Foresight, I think it's great.
No, it is. I'm glad it's moving that way. It's
It's nice. Oh,
yeah, a little ridiculous. It was the other way, but
mean,
that's how things go. Unfortunately.
Male-oriented field. So
yeah.
We're going to rock it.
Speaking of that, so I mean, we can only speak so much towards this, but I guess it was a year. I guess it's been almost a year ago now. There was a big article about the sexist nature of a lot of beer labels, and obviously in Dallas we saw that a lot of blowback for Deep Ellum's Blonde for Goes Down Easy. So, how do you feel about the quote unquote sexist beer labels? I mean, what are your thoughts being a woman?
I think sexuality is amazing. And I think if you have boobs, flaunt them. I think that women are beautiful in nature.
Right.
And I think that just because it's a little, hey, goes down easy, sex sells. Sex sells. And we have that advantage above y'all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take on, I mean, I don't think it's...
So you don't get offended by the
personally,
labels?
I don't. And I don't think that, like, a true... I don't even want to say that. Like, I think that a true female would be like, hey, you know what? That's a pretty lady.
Yeah.
I go towards the labels that have girls on them.
But what about, like, Flying Dog's Raging Bitch?
I drink it, and it's delicious.
But you don't get offended by the label?
I don't. Me, personally, I don't get offended by the label.
I guess I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why some people would get offended.
I can definitely see why people would get offended, but... okay, so I'm going to say it. A true nature of feminism is to have equality.
Right.
It's not because, like, these random things that are like, oh, that shows too much boob.
Yeah.
Oh, that girl has a low-cut shirt. She's trying to show off. No, it's like you're going to burn your bras and then you're going to wear a low-cut shirt. So it's just kind of one of those things that's a weird balance.
Right.
So I'm not offended by any of it, but I do stand up a lot for women as well. So.
Our generic male take has been generally that intent has a lot to do with it too. If it's supposed to be kind of just a random joke or whatever, it's maybe not as big of a deal, but some of them just on occasion seem a little ridiculous. But like the Dallas Blonde thing, I feel like it's a little lighter.
Like there was
I
one.
love that.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's not really that big of a deal.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, plus, I mean, a blonde could be a guy. Even though it's a picture of a lady on the cover, it could be a guy as well.
It's true.
But there was like one can I remember we talked about last year that had an explicit reference to a roofie or something like that, or Spanish fly. And I was like, that was around the course
I've
when
not seen that one,
the Bill
so-
Cosby, when all those allegations first came
Yeah.
out, at least in modern times. So I can understand that would be a little more sensitive
Yeah,
at the time.
I feel like that's way different than the Dallas Blonde slogan.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when it goes to like rape culture,
Exactly. Yeah. Let's leave that alone. Yeah.
Let's leave rape culture alone. Yeah.
Right.
But Dallas Blonde, they should maybe get a handsome looking guy to be on the cover. Like just have alternate cans.
Some blonde guys go down easy too. So I mean, hey,
exactly.
You never know.
That's true.
So how do you feel about?
They probably go down more easy than the girls.
That's probably true.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm enjoying this conversation. It's way outside the bounds that we normally get with
Oh,
brewers.
good.
Yeah.
Well,
The brewers
see,
are.
I'm like a cusser and a dirty.
That's fine.
I'm like outrageously vulgar. So
That's fine with us. We tend to bleep things out because we're on iHeartRadio, so we have to if you don't bleep things out, it's okay. You can. I'll just bleep it out. Yeah.
bleep bleep
But
bleep bleep. I'm
it's-
kidding.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
have to go back and always be careful. Although I find myself frequently I'll be listening because I'm listening a lot of times while I'm working. I'm editing while I'm working, and so I'll miss some once in a while. But
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me. It's just
Right, it bothers
the restrictions of the platforms we're on, unfortunately.
Well,
So So you're now a a correspondent for our friends over at Liquid Lunch.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about that. How'd that happen?
Kind of the same way it happened with you.
Okay.
They chatted me up on Instagram, and they were like, we'd love for you to be a part of our Dallas correspondence. And I was like, I'd love to do that. And then all of a sudden, I didn't get it, but I did the World of Beer stuff, so my
was gonna ask you
plate
about
was
that, yeah.
packed.
Right.
And I'll tell you when you ask, but I ended up talking back, or getting back to them, and talking about how we should totally do it, and it just happened. So I mean, I love it because it's kind of I guess I kind of took over my blogging, because I used to try to say what's happening.
Right.
I mean, what there's a festival this weekend. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, this is how you fest, or so it kind of took over a little bit, and I really enjoy it because they have really funny puns, and that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like Hops to La Vista, come on. One
Yeah.
of my shirts is gonna say I'd tap that. I mean, it's just funny
Yeah.
things. That,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny stuff. I mean, my logo has, I like talking about the female things.
Yeah.
She has cleaved. And I was not going to leave that out
Yeah.
because I love
Sure.
boobs. And you know what? You need to have an awesome, and sexist house, like I was saying. So
That's true.
I love Liquid Lunch, though. They are awesome. And I actually call in every once in a while on Thursdays for their Liquid Lunch podcast.
Right.
So I've been on it a couple of times. I'm going to try to do.
Seems like I always have a
Video.
meeting when that show's going on. It's like a mean to listen to, and
I
something will come up. I'm like,
know.
dang it.
Well, they record it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on it once a few months ago. Had
Yeah.
unfortunate audio problems on both sides.
my
that
gosh,
day.
yeah.
Oh, no.
It ended up sounding terrible, but it was a fun experience. It was
Hey, you
really
know,
nice guys.
that's something amazing about all of this. It's really raw, and that's
Yeah.
what I love about it.
Right.
The rawness of all of the video that you do, and I mean, this is an amazing thing. I didn't even know it existed. I know videographers that are really raw, and I like
Yeah.
that. I don't like the commercialized, I like really of the raw, the people around you, you know them. And so
Right.
that's an amazing thing that we get to take advantage of.
And I would recommend Josh's the other podcast, Interbrews, is really good.
Ooh.
The Josh who is the host of
The
Liquid
Liquid
Lunch.
Lunch.
Yeah, his Interbrews podcast. He just did one with St. Arnold, actually.
Yeah, I saw
His
that.
100th episode, even though he's done, I think, 140 episodes.
Oh, God.
He went back and did episode 100 for St. Arnold. Yeah.
This is because it's your birthday.
Yeah.
It's only because it's your birthday.
He's been saving it just to get St. Arnold on 100, but...
That's kind of funny.
So tell me about the World Beer Company thing. So actually, the way we met was just accidental. We went into World Beer Company on their last day, and we wanted to record an episode from there and get beer. Well, we stood in line for, I don't know,
So,
20 minutes.
I think
Yeah.
those are different companies.
Oh,
So the World of Beer Bottle Shop.
World of Beer. I'm sorry. That's what I was saying, not World Beer Company.
I think it's World Beer Company for the bottle shop, and then the World of Beer.
So confusing.
I know, you're okay, because I had to look that up. I
Yeah.
actually had to look that up because I was like, is this the World of Beer?
Yeah.
They're closing down their bottle shop, and then I realized that it was
Okay.
It's a Dallas company.
Right. The
so-
Greenville bottle shop was...
No,
Yeah.
no. And I was just like, I had no idea. Now when we met, that was
Yeah.
a show.
Yeah. That was
That was
cluster.
outrageous.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, yeah, it was ridiculous.
We stood in
it
line for 20
was-
minutes and bailed.
Yeah, he was like, oh no, I met you, and I'm like, really? And then I looked at him front face, and I was just like, oh yeah.
With the guys in the corner.
I'm so sorry because I probably chatted. I just realized who you were, and I chatted with y'all with the baby for a long time. But when I was there, I was so anxious.
It was so crowded.
The whole entire time. I was
it was so crowded.
I hate everybody in here right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then so that was.
You had an armful of baby and a stroller full of beer.
I loved it because beer is my baby, and that was not my baby. So I love him too.
So then the World Beer Co intern was it?
Yeah, World Beer Co intern. So that was a lot of fun. They ended up going with an amazing Dallas girl.
Right.
I worked my hardest to get there. They called me and they were like, "You did fantastic. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was bummed that I didn't get it, of course, but I think honestly it is the best thing because I realized what I can do in a weekend. Each time they gave me a project, I did it, finished it, done.
Right.
Recorded something that I'd never tried before in an interview, and then edit it, done. I mean, all of those things I was able to learn so much from.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, I'm going to get it, but...
And what would have been the prize at the end? I didn't read all the details.
You get paid $12,000 to travel the world for beer.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So, I mean, that would have been really cool. But at the same time, I have this brand that I'm promoting, and it's me and the Bearded Lady and everything. If I would have done that, I would have had to focus on World of Beer. And so, to be honest, I think it's a blessing in disguise that I learned so much about it. But then all of a sudden... Yeah. I mean, I was bummed. Oh, God, I was bummed. A lot of people were bummed, actually.
So it was a variety of, you had to get likes, and you had to do these little projects. So what do you think came down? What was the ultimate selection between you and this other person?
Videography.
Okay.
So I really think that I don't want to make any guesses. They just went with another direction.
Right.
And I looked up a few of the other people that had gotten it, and some people don't have as many followers, and some people, so there's just kind of a variance that I think they wanted to go through.
Right.
And this time they picked 2 girls, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple boys that are teamed up, I think. I know, right? I don't know.
Yeah, there was a team of 2 guys, I remember.
There is, yeah. So that one's pretty cool. I don't know really what made them decide something different. And maybe it was conflict of interest, because I do have this brand that I'm working on, and it is the Bearded Lady.
Is that a yearly thing where you can try again?
I don't think so, because actually one of the wonderful people that is on Instagram as well, and she, I talked to her as well, is Crafty Beer Maven, and she's got a lot of followers as well, and she does a lot of beer things. She tried out twice and didn't get it.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's going to be okay. I'm probably not going to. I'm enjoying this better than what I would do over there because I'm right here in Dallas.
Right.
And I'm talking to y'all. So, to be honest, I think this is a better situation for me personally.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd love to. I'd love to get paid for that, but...
It'd be a great opportunity, yeah. Definitely.
Great opportunity.
I'm sure you'd learn a ton, but I can also understand that conversely, you kind of get to carve your own path.
Exactly, and I think it's all about, right now, it is all about being the individual. So really, it's probably the best way to go. Yeah. Even for Crafty Beer Maven. Yeah. Love you.
So back to the Dallas scene in general, do you feel like it's starting to get saturated here at all, or do you just feel like the more and more good beer that people make, the more and more content we have, the people in our industry, and it's just a good thing to keep it going?
I think it's on its way to get saturated, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So right now, I think it's at its perfect spot with the amount of suburban breweries and Dallas breweries, and there's a few opening in Denton. So I think that's really a good amount right now, but I know where it's going to go because Colorado had this, Alaska had it. I mean, those are great states, but you go up there, and one thing about breweries, you go up there, you go to the best breweries that you want, but then no matter what town you're in, you can go to a brewery. And that makes it amazing. It's all about community. The beer culture and the beer scene is all about coming somewhere or going somewhere, drinking beer with your friends, and enjoying your day.
Yeah, that's kind of what Wim Benz was saying in our 100th episode is people start to go back to your neighborhood and the beer that beer for the neighborhood where you are and that kind of stuff. I feel like personally, I think maybe the big production brewery phase is starting to wind down, and it's going to be a lot more little brew pubs and areas and say, I serve this neighborhood and this neighborhood. And
I think it's fantastic.
I think it's a good thing. Maybe more Portland-esque or something. I don't know exactly how to say it, but
we're going to have our big dogs here for sure.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, Intrinsic's on its way to be a big dog for sure, but I mean, like Lakewood. I know I always say Lakewood, but they're just one of my favorites. Peticolas is really one of my favorites as well. Community, those are some big dogs. I love Diabellum. Brain Dead. I mean, those are our big boys here right now. I know Franconia and everybody else is delicious too, but those are the ones that are kind of in the forefront that I think.
Yeah, I think they have more unique options. You know, Franconia's got that style and they covered that area, but
But places like Intrinsic and Brain Dead, being smaller operations, they have a little more freedom with which to work.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
A lot of these bigger breweries like Lakewood, I mean, for them to pivot to a different style is a big deal. That's a big investment in money. Not that they don't have piling systems, so they do, and I'm sure they still experiment, but here they have a little more freedom to just toss something on a tap and say how to, they go through one keg and they're done. But maybe it's a success, maybe it isn't, but they have a little more freedom to be flexible, and try new things.
And they're playing with the special releases, which is really good because I know we have some competition up in the Northeast.
Right.
Excuse me. And so that's really cool that they're doing brewery-only releases on these great IPAs. So, I mean, I think that's awesome that we're trying that down here, too.
Yeah.
The line was out the door when I came out here. They sold out before I got here. I tried Can't Stop This, and I got one can. Thank you, Chris. But, I mean, I was able to enjoy it as well. So.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing. I think there's nothing better than more experimentation. And I know we talked about this many times, but Portland's Holiday Ale Festival, where they bring out the firkins of random beers they've made, wild things. I think it only makes the scene better.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a good thing. I think we could focus more on that. And I think it would be a better thing for our local industry, at least.
I totally agree.
Maybe if we didn't have the most oppressive beer scene in the whole country, that would help out a little bit, you know. Another one of those state of Texas law things that we were talking about earlier.
Maybe Beerland will actually come here next season then.
I know, right? That law, though.
Right,
I definitely signed a petition, but.
Before we get to the lightning round, do you have anything else you want to add? Anything you want to promote? Besides the beardedladyblog.com? With the 2 E's, not an EA.
Right.
Yeah.
The Bearded.
If you search for The Bearded Lady, you'll get a lot of articles about Jennifer Miller, the Bearded Lady.
Interesting.
Yeah, an actual bearded lady.
Competing Jennifer.
Actually bearded, like a real bearded.
Jennifer.
Because then they go be like, did you really mean the bearded with 2 E's? But the top bearded ladies, apparently her name is also Jennifer.
Interesting. That's really funny. I love that. That's pretty cool, actually.
So maybe you could have
contact with her.
Yeah, you could have a beer off with 2 bearded ladies.
Yeah. It's like the beer and the beard.
The beer and the beard, yeah.
Yeah, you guys should cross-promote for sure. It's set up to do it.
I think we should do this. This is awesome. No, I think that you pretty much covered it. I mean, any Texas brewery is delicious, of course. I'm going to always promote that. But, no.
All right. Well, let's get to the lightning round then.
Lightning round, what is that? Oh, my God, I'm scared.
It's not really that fast, actually.
Yeah, it's short questions. Don't necessarily have to be short answers.
So I just need to, say, okay, I was like, one word?
Yeah, no, it's not like a timer and you hit a button or anything.
Thing.
Yeah, I'll know.
So I think you covered it. What was your first beer? Was the Shiner Black or the Shiner Bock?
Shiner Black.
Shiner Black.
I mean, before that, I was like Keystone, but
yeah.
That was your first craft beer, right?
First craft beer.
What was your very first beer? Just some generic Bud Light or something along those lines?
Keystone, Bud Light, Natty Light. I don't remember. Yeah. Something on the beer pong table.
Fair enough. Yeah. Do you have a favorite Texas beer that you want to specify, or is it too hard to do?
That's a really hard question.
Maybe a style that you prefer? We could even narrow it that way.
I mean, this hibiscus wit. I'm a very seasonal person, so right now this hibiscus wit is delicious.
Sure.
And I love Intrinsic, and so this Intrinsic hibiscus wit is super friggin' tasty. And I'm all done with it. I'm just kidding. Lightning round, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
So do you find that beer is more art or more science? Brewing is more art or more science?
Oh, I'm actually a scientist at heart, so I think it's a lot of science, but you get to... Yeah, I think it's science because you have to make sure the yeast cultures are okay, make sure they're happy. If you're going to do bacteria cultures for souring, then you have to make sure those are okay. You really have to make sure the whole entire process is clean cut.
Right.
So yeah, you can't just paint things.
Yeah.
I mean, it is artistic in the way that you can add stuff and make things taste different.
Yeah.
So that's artistic in its way, but still it goes down to a science of what is this flavor? So science for sure. That was a long answer, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Dustin?
I guess we will narrow down one style and ask you specific about it. Would you rather have a dank West Coast IPA or a hazy East Coast IPA?
Right now, hazy East Coast. Juicy.
Fair enough.
I didn't hear you say he's
East Coast, yeah.
East Coast, juicy.
Following those fashion trends. Huh?
Yeah,
That's the
I
fail of
know.
this setup is hearing the answers
Yeah.
the other way.
I'm sorry.
I was told not to.
No,
do
no,
it
it's not your
before,
fault.
I'll do it this way.
And I guess lastly, if you're going to give anybody advice who wants to do what you're doing, do you have anything you want to tell them to do or not
It's
to do?
okay.
Oh, no problem.
He totally wanted it. He wanted to be in it. It's all good.
It's all right.
Any advice for doing what I want to do? Any advice that I want to do, any advice?
Some you give someone starting up a blog and trying to get into the same area.
Things not
yeah.
to do, maybe things to do.
Really, it's just do it. I mean, just get out there, write, post pictures. I drink the beer. Apparently, there's people out there that aren't drinking this beer. So drink the beer, enjoy yourself, have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. Like,
It's so
we are
lame to do a
here.
beer blog and not drink the beer.
No, right? I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, have fun like we are here. Like,
Right.
This is a great, fantastic time. I'm probably going to have one more beer after this. I shouldn't, but I'm going to.
You get your parents.
Fair enough,
right?
yeah.
I know, right?
There you go, yeah.
They're driving
You're
me
set,
everywhere
yeah.
today. We're fine.
All right. Well, Jennifer the Beerded Lady, with 2 E's, thebeardedladyblog.com.
Yes.
You can check out the other bearded lady that's Jennifer if you
Yeah,
want, but
yes.
that's
Cool.
not. It's not the point today.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then Instagram, of course.
I assume all your social links are on your blog.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, easy
They
to
are.
find. 'Cause all your handles are a little bit different, right?
They
Depending on
are,
the
because I
platform.
didn't know what I was doing. I'm not
Fair
going to
enough.
lie. I was just like, this sounds fun.
Yeah.
And then I just did it differently. Know what you're like. Make them all the same. That's
Yeah.
a good piece of advice. Make them all the
That's-
same, because I had no idea what I was doing.
That is something we learned, yeah.
We've tried, yeah.
Yeah, we've tried to get it. I think we're Brew Bloods on just about everything except emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Somebody had a Brew Bloods email address
Oh,
already.
it makes
Like,
no
come on.
sense.
So, like, maybe they're, like, really into the beer, too.
Yeah.
So.
Apparently.
Oh, and somebody has
and
brewbloods.com.
beer and puns.
Yeah.
Aw. Beer and puns.
Yeah.
Puns are the best.
All right, well, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for all your support. If you wouldn't mind, leave us a review on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. It doesn't necessarily help you, but it does help us. Most of all, if you have a friend that enjoys podcasts.
Probably doesn't
audio,
help them at all, but it definitely helps us.
enjoys beer. If you have a friend, just tell your friends about us. We'd appreciate it. And you can check us out on all the social networks for Brew Bloods and everything. Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, even though I never use Snapchat. And
Yeah,
if you have any feedback on the show, just go to reddit.com/r/brewbloods. Email us at brewbloodshow@gmail.com. Or call us at 469-573-BEER. It's
The more fans we can get to Reddit, the better.
37, yes.
To counter out the negativity
Yes,
from
the
randos.
hate.
Yes.
hate.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Let's get some good fans
Go
there.
fans. You need,
Yes.
to, you need to do it. You need to do it.
Please.
All right, for Dustin and Mark.
Mark and Dustin,
And
Probst.
for Jennifer, I'm Mark and Dustin.
Oh, yeah,
Probst.
Jennifer, yes.
Cheers. I don't know why I cheers the mic.